Hello my Amazon friends, it's me Karina. Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to actually split test things in your listings. A lot of people forego this step because they don't want to spend the money or they simply don't think it's important. However, it is very, very important for the reason that it can actually help you increase your sales. I've been a huge kind of advocate of testing, A/B testing, split testing, whatever you may call it, especially within Amazon and pretty much in life. I think you should be split testing things all the time, but especially in Amazon because that can actually save you a lot of money. So today I'm going to be breaking down the different types of split tests, what you need to do, what's important to not only when you actually have a product up, but there's actually ways to split test your products even before launching them to make sure you're actually getting the best product that's actually going to convert more. And by the way, if you are new to this channel, my name is Karina and I post Amazon videos very frequently on here because I want to teach you how to do Amazon. So in today, I'm going to actually be discussing kind of the most important things to split test to actually increase your sales. So if you are looking for that boost of sales or considering it, I think this will really help you a lot, or at least clear your mind about what's going on within your product. I'm also going to talk about split testing in the pre-launch process and actual other general things that you can split test. And before I dive super deep into this video, I do want to let you know that we are going to be doing these specific split tests on the site pickfood.com. And the reason why is because they have access to a database of people and you can literally get results real time, and they will write very detailed descriptions about what kind of changes the product should have or why they chose to buy a competitor product versus your product. So it's extremely valuable because you can ask your mom or your friend or brother or even put kind of some other type of test, but it might be really biased, but these are completely unbiased opinions, and you can actually even select Amazon sellers when you run this. So that really helps a lot because then you know there are people that have a pattern of shopping on Amazon and they know what to look for and they commonly pick Amazon products. So that's really helpful. And I'm gonna show you actually in the software exactly how to do that after I explain all of these steps. I'm not sure if it will all fit into this one video because I might do a second one where I actually put an A/B split test, say one image compared to the next, so I could show you how it works. So if you do decide to actually use the software in the future for whatever needs you want, you can see how it actually works. So let's actually discuss the different types of split tests and the most important one. So for example, if you are doing this split test and you want to make the most out of your money, because it is a paid kind of service, I believe it's $1 per vote. And I suggest starting with 50 votes because then at least you get kind of more. If you are investing a lot of money into a product, perhaps you want to start with 100 votes if you really think it's going to make a difference. Also, by the way, if you use my code Karina50, you can get 50% off of your first poll. So that's really helpful. If you're running a large poll, you can just slash that in half. It's great. So let's talk about the most important things that are actually going to increase your sales. And all of these things you can split test, and actually all of these or most of these is something that you can only test within the software. I do have a playlist of split testing on this video, and I kind of like, I really value split testing. There's other free ways to do it, but unfortunately those free ways don't let you do kind of comparisons between your competition and other kind of skeptical, how do I say, big picture things, right? You can split test kind of your image versus another image. And I think that is a great way. If you are a student in my course, then you know exactly how to do that. I teach you how to do it. I give you a whole layout because honestly, every time I've done it, these tiny little changes do take your sales up to the next level. So these are, let's look at these 4 most important things that if you are using the software, I think your money will be best spent into these 4 things. So your main image versus your competition image. That's really great because say you think that you made this package design, right? or just a lifestyle picture of your product that you kind of snuck in there, even though that's against Amazon's terms of service, or if it's kind of even a lay flat of the product and you personally think it's better than your competition, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna launch my product, get this going, call it, throw it out of the park and call it good, I'm gonna get the sales. But you don't actually know that, right? It's just your opinion. So the cool thing is you can actually put an image of your product and just screenshot your competition product. So let me just show you right in PickFood. They kind of tell you what different things you can do, but essentially you start a new poll and you can literally put kind of one product versus the next. I'm gonna show you an in-depth of this. I think in the next video, I think that'll be better, right? Because I can actually go into the details and get actual responses. But see how you can put option A, option B? They can also be photos. So you can ask the question, for example, which one would you buy? And then place your product here and your competitor's product here, right? And then you'll actually get real votes, and I'll show you how to kind of place the audience and everything. You'll get real votes and you'll see, because what if everyone starts picking your competition's image? Then you say, shoot, I misinterpreted this, right? So that's a good way to start it off, because if the audience is already voting for your competition's image before you even kind of start spending PPC on your product, then probably they're going to be purchasing the competition image or their product. So you're better off finding that out before you actually start running PPC campaigns. The next one, I really like this one too, is your main image versus your other potential main image, right? So say you think that your image kind of in a lifestyle form converts better rather than kind of laying straight out on a white background, for example, or maybe you have kind of one in a 3D package design and the other one without the package and just the product itself. How would you know what's going to kind of sell well? You can get a good kind of ballpark estimate of this by using the software as well. Again, same thing, just put your image versus another image, and you can actually even do kind of the whole page of Amazon too, kind of with the description and the title. So that's really great too. So you can say, would you buy this or this, right? I think that's a great thing. The only thing about this, I would also, of course, always use the other split testing methods that I talk about in my other videos and in my programs, is you actually want real sales data, because this is not real sales data, it's just opinions. It's calculated opinions, but still, if you do launch your product and you're trying to compare it with a different image, make sure that you actually split test it within Amazon itself, because that's going to reflect in how the buyers purchase your product, right? If it's not seasonal, if there's not any trends changing, if it's quite consistent during a time period, for example, for a month, you know the sales are going to be very stable, then you can test your first image and then change it within Amazon and see if your sales increase or decrease. And that is a good way to kind of know on the actual sales. But of course, you can't test, like number one, you can't test your main image versus a competitor's image, because you can't put a competitor's image in your listing. So it's quite helpful to know that. The third thing is your package versus your competitor's package. If, you know, again, the main image it could be lifestyle form or some other type of form, but this is actual packaging. Say the actual package layout. Should it be blue? Should I go for like a natural theme? Maybe it needs to be bright and vibrant. Maybe it needs to have people on it, right? So you can test your design versus a competitor's design. And this you should actually do, of course, before you even manufacture your product, because you can actually send this in the die line of your kind of package to China to make your packaging for you, to the box factory. And hopefully you, of course, want to do that before you have your Amazon listed, because what if you order it, it's already produced, it's in the warehouse, and then oops, now you have, you know, you've tested it and now you know that the other package is actually performing well. And actually that was more on point 4, where I was talking about your package versus another potential package. So do number 4 before you actually kind of sending your product to be manufactured, because that's going to save you money and time. But definitely compare it to your competitors as well, to make sure you're on the right track and that you're actually improving in the market. So there's other things we can split test, and I'll tell you what they are right now, but I do want to say I think the biggest bang for your buck would be these 4 categories, because you've already, I'm assuming you've already done the market research and everything, so you know how your product is going to perform in front of the consumers. So you know kind of what design to go for, what color, you know, type of thing. We will talk about that later, but these, if you do have a product or if you're really close to launching one, I think this will give you the highest ROI. Now, the pre-launch process, depending on the category you're in, if this is needed, you can definitely help kind of move your product forward. And these 4 things, so is testing the type of bundle. And a bundle, I really recommend bundles. It's, for example, if you're selling, I have my AirPods here, if you're selling your AirPods with a case, right? They're in a case, so you sell them together for a cheaper price than it would be if people were to buy them separately. Again, this needs to be data driven. I talk about how to explore bundles in my course, and also a little bit about in my private label club, which is a low risk way of starting Amazon FBA. You can join it for $7. It'll be really, you'll learn a lot in there, seriously, the trial. But yeah, the bundle is really important, but you don't always need a bundle. It really depends. There's a whole strategy about this, but this is a good way to test bundles. You can also test the type of colors. For example, what's going to be better in a pink color or an orange color. And this is for markets that do have that color variety. It doesn't kind of translate to all markets, because some markets it doesn't really matter, but for those that it does matter, do take a look at that. Next is the type of pack. For example, if you're doing a 2-pack or a 4-pack or a 10-pack, right? This can help a lot too, because you won't know until you start selling, but it does help to kind of help yourself get ahead of the game by asking your audience, well, not your audience, but someone else's audience, for a paid fee. And then that could bring you closer. And then within Amazon, you can actually start testing and it will be easier. Then it's the type of design, and this again is not applicable to all markets. For example, some markets just have one design and it's selling well, but for example, if it's, I don't know, something with like a different type of handle or a different type of functionality, I don't know, I'm blanking on what to say, but for example, decorations or something like that, or a calendar with one layout better than the other, things like that. That can really help if you are in those types of markets. Again, that this should be clear more or less on the research you do within your market, which is really important. Market research is something you should be doing. There's a lot of components that go into it that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but you should be doing that. But if you do need the help, you can always run the software on these as well. And then of course there are the general things, and this again is honestly not really necessary. It's not mandatory. Like I said, I think the most important thing is honestly your main image. That is what I have seen from my personal experience to get more conversions and more sales, and just really tip the sales over the edge. Not over the edge, but I mean increase your sales. Everything else, if you can't afford it with your ROI, with your product, it doesn't hurt to kind of test those out as well. But keep in mind, most of these things actually you can test them out within Amazon as well, using another free software. But let's take a look here. So the full listing image versus competitor, and what I mean by listing image is the actual outline of the whole entire Amazon listing. So you can screenshot the picture, the title, the price, everything, and just kind of have it a package like picture for the testers to see, versus a competitor, same thing, and maybe their price tips them off or something. In that case, it's a little difficult to tell if they do pick your competitor, why your competitor is doing better than you, but you can, you know, just out of curiosity, if you want to know if your competitor is going to be favorable in regards to you. The next one is your image versus another image, and again, I mean the entire Amazon listing, not just kind of your picture, but again with the price, with the title. So maybe you change something, maybe the price, and then people could see, okay, obviously I'm gonna buy this because it's less expensive. These get a little tricky because they're kind of a bird's eye view. So again, that's why I put them in general, because I don't think that this is gonna bring you back too much ROI, but I just wanted to kind of think of all the possibilities of things that you can split test. And I would save those for the very, very least. Of course, again, I really emphasize testing the main image first. Then you can test the title. So all of these kind of, the title, the bullets, the description, I really don't think they make a huge difference unless you completely keyword stuffed it and haven't really taken the time to make it friendly to read for the consumer. You know, obviously this is all that I teach in my programs. It's very, very important to know how to not only rank for keywords, but also to be kind of aesthetically pleasing to read for the customer. And if it's all gibberish, they're not gonna get it. But title, bullets, again, with little modifications, you can also test that within Amazon, but I honestly do not think they will make a huge difference in your sales, just because if you're already optimized with your title, the title really serves mostly for trying to rank you the fastest to page 1 on many keywords, and that's really what it's going to be useful for. So if you don't know how to optimize this in the beginning, it's not really going to be converting because the title looks better, unless, of course, like I mentioned, you keyword stuffed it, but it's going to be performing better because there are more keywords in there. Same with the bullet points. Again, those you want to make appealing for the customer and for the optimization. And then, of course, you can test general concepts, and this just ranges from very conceptual bird eye view things about your product. This, again, when I talk about split testing, I really like to hone down on one individualized thing that will bring me back the highest ROI, because at a point you can be sitting there all day and trying to perfect your products, and it's going to drive you nuts. I did this when I first started out, and instead of focusing on kind of doing product research and launching new products, what I was doing is just kind of testing every tiny little thing, checking if I'm indexed for all these keywords every single day. I remember I spent like 4 hours on checking if I was indexed and rearranging things in my bullets, descriptions, titles to try to rank more, but it didn't do anything for my sales, because at that point you're just neurotic and you keep rechecking things. So once you've done kind of the 80-20 rule, focusing on the kind of 20% that's going to give you the 80% of results, I do strongly believe that is your title, your image, which is the title you can't split test. I mean title optimization, which is what I teach my students to do in all my programs. And then when it comes to split testing, it's the main image, I think, is going to be the most important 20% that will give you 80% back, is to split test that. This video is already going on for quite a good amount of time, so what I'm gonna do in the next video is I'm actually going to pick an image and I'm going to split test it within this right here. I'm gonna show you exactly how to set it up, what audience to pick, things like that. And actually wait, because last time I did this, the responses came in so fast, but I didn't actually do it on YouTube. So now I'm going to share it with you so you know how the responses look. And if you do want to try out the poll yourself, you can take 50% off with my code Karina50. It's gonna be linked down below, and it's also easy to remember. If you enjoyed this, do hit the like button and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2, where I'm actually going to break down exactly how to test these things. I will see you in the next video.